Okay. I'm Rajan from Solution Exchange. I'm the moderator for the ICTD community, which is an online knowledge sharing platform. It is facilitated by the United Nations in India.
Yeah. For someone who doesn't know Rajan, how does Solution Exchange work?
Um,
What's the logic or the principle behind it?
the Solution Exchange is basically the core idea behind Solution Exchange was really capturing tacit knowledge of people in the grassroots, which is because knowledge today is in two parts. Most of the knowledge which we call documentation, which we do, is done by academics or people who are at the higher level of the knowledge management, higher management knowledge level. But what happens is most of the time it is not supported by real experiences from the field. The Solution Exchange brings together both these two ends of this very important part of the knowledge community.
Using a mailing list in that sense.
It's a moderated mailing list. It's a moderated mailing list where people can pose a query, and the query gets answered by this community of practitioners who are members of the Solution Exchange community.
And how many lists you all have as of now? How many communities you all have, and
There
how many members?
are so many thematics. So there's ICT, that is Information and Communication Technologies for Development, is one thematic. There is decentralization. There is HIV/AIDS. There is water community. So like this, there are about 6 or 7 thematics, and each one of them has members who are interested in that particular theme. So they may be doctors who are interested only in HIV/AIDS, so they only are members of the community of AIDS community.
But it's open. I think the list is open to.
It's open to anyone who's serious about sharing knowledge and experiences and learning from it. The best part of it has been that a lot of people who actually use knowledge to benefit others have actually used this knowledge. Take a case like Rajasthan government has posted out a few queries, and they've actually used it to influence the way they work in the government, especially in e-governance. The ICT policy on education, which is today being used by the government as a policy document, as a reference document. Most of the queries or the discussions which happen on the ICTD exchange are being used there. It's become a book, and so it actually goes towards creating a better understanding of the world around us.
It's probably the first time that the UN has adopted the internet and information from below.
I really do think so. I think it's a good way for the UN to go forward from being just a funding agency and looking at the new way the developing nations are moving up, especially in Indian context, where already state governments are mature enough to handle their own problems. They have enough funds to address their own issues. So what they really require is technical knowledge. And when you say technical, I don't think even the UN has got that kind of technical knowledge, which they can contribute to the.
So you're tapping knowledge from
So you're tapping knowledge from within the country, from the grassroots, and tell them, hey, look, this policy may not work because of these conditions. Bring awareness to people who practice, saying that you don't have to reinvent the wheel because this is how it happened. Allow people to understand various circumstances on how a best so-called practice can work.
From here, where do you move on? I mean, what's the new plans for the ICT community, for instance?
What do I see? One is that I think the number of members is growing. So I see a greater awareness, people wanting to use knowledge for themselves, even if they are passive. I found people saying, look, when I meet people, they say, look, we actually read what's happening, we may not be contributing. So that means there are people who are actually tapping into this knowledge, storing it for future use. The future is one is to go downwards and bring in local language practitioners, because that's where the wealth of our knowledge, not just English, go beyond the language, go to regional languages. And engage with those people who are the real practitioners in the local language. So that's very So that's very important. I feel that's one level. Second is to go upwards to create a second level of knowledge management, which actually becomes action groups and works towards development, because it's all about development and achieving the Millennium Development Goals. So that higher level of practitioners could actually look at what is being given as experiences from the ground and see whether it can affect policy and go forward into actual development work.
The website is solutionsexchange.un.org.
UN.org.
Thanks.